the two most powerful conferences and the two most
2019
talented
Garrison wouldn't be
conferences.
saying any of this. I'm just saying that out loud. I've known you're
I
my
don't.
bestest
Hey,
friends
hey,
ever. You're my dear friend.
hey.
We've been doing this dance
Uh
for
huh.
2 decades now,
Hmm.
almost 15 years.
Wait, is college football in 2024 the same in 2020 in 2019? Yes or no? A simple yes or no will suffice. Is it the same? A simple yes or no will suffice.
The mighty have
I,
fallen, friends. The mighty have fallen.
the mighty have fallen. I can't wait to donkey kick you guys in the mouth this year. I really can't. I
As
really
Paul
can.
Finebaum said, you guys said you do that in 2021. He said you last year. He
Paul
said you have
Finebaum needs to grow
victories.
some hair follicles. We are going to give you guys hellfire and brimstone this year. And I hope you know that.
All right, welcome back to episode 73 of the Scarlet and Blue Show. For the first time, I'll be honest with you, man. May, June wasn't really ready to dive into the nitty gritties of football. And still celebrating the national championship. Still the dog days of summer.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's August. I'm ready. I am ready now. The juices are flowing. I'm ready for the season. We can start tomorrow.
I've been ready for the season since Quinshawn Judkins committed to Ohio State or transferred to Ohio State. I've been ready for the season since that, Bryce. So about
Eh,
5 minutes after you guys won the Natty.
Yeah, because you guys need the season to happen. So of course you've been
Oh,
ready.
I don't, Bryce. I completely agree with you.
Wait, before that though,
Okay.
what do we like to drink?
Oh, baby, we drink SDB, baby, stock the bar. What do you mean? Premium vodka.
Delicious vodka, smooth taste with a purpose. If you're listening to the show regularly, you know we talk about it. If you haven't tried it yet, go get it. I think it's at like every grocery store in Michigan. Have we checked if it's in Ohio yet?
We
Have
know
we
it's in
looked?
Michigan. It's in Michigan. But
It's okay.
all Ohio listeners, if you need it, come you got to come get it. It's really good.
Just drive north a little bit if you're in Ohio.
And if you get stopped, just keep driving. Just keep driving.
Yeah, it is not sold anywhere in Ohio. All right, the near
Yeah,
okay, if
it's
you're
sold
in
in Michigan.
Ohio,
Yeah.
there is one the closest spot you can get it is in Monroe, Michigan at the Meyer 1700 Telegraph Road.
There you
So,
go. There you go.
if you're in
Just a quick,
Ohio, make the drive.
as much of a Buckeye fan as I am, there's nothing better than the Great Lakes state of Michigan in terms of living. Living.
And we will clip that. There's nothing better than Michigan, as said by Garrison.
As much of a Buckeye fan as I am, there's nothing better than the Michigan way. This weekend with the House of Style, where he actually, just so you know, he is actually still a barber too, on top of owning his own vodka company. So he got me good. Daryl did this. Thank you, Daryl. And he says hi to you, Bryce.
My man, my man. I still need to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when we play the video later on in the episode, but Dillon Rich's agency, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go check them out too. If you need insurance, if you have questions, if you don't have insurance but you're not sure where to start, call Dillon. He'll get you right. He'll
Mm-hmm.
take care of you. Go see him as well. So big
And
shout out to the sponsors.
very important to have life insurance. Very important.
It is. All right. What do you listen to?
Finebaum. It has to do with Finebaum.
Okay. Well, yeah. So finish what you're gonna say.
Well,
'Cause I
on
like
there,
these guys over there.
because Mark Rogers was talking about uh Feinbaum's comments on Ryan Day. He said, about
what,
Ryan Day not winning big games.
what were Feinbaum's comments, Garrison?
I don't have them in full context in front of me, but the gist of it is that Ryan Day doesn't win big games. That was literally the gist of it. And Mark Rogers pointed out, like, well, you're talking about Ryan Day right now, mind you, a guy with just 8 losses on his record.
Three of which
There's nothing,
to who again?
huh? Huh? He has less losses to his rival than Jim Harbaugh does. So he's talking about it, and he says there's nothing Ryan Day can do about that today. And and when I heard him say that, I was thinking to myself, he's right. And I find it funny that Paul Finebaum will come like he comes on national television. I love Finebaum. I think he's fun to listen to. In
It's
terms of
entertaining.
SEC, yeah, he is. And I mean, and that's who I go to for SEC talk. That's who I go to. But let's back this up here though. Ryan Day in big games. Now, yes, he's lost to the Wolverines 3 times now. Um, yeah, he has that loss to Bama. He has a loss to Clemson, one to Oregon. At who am I missing? Georgia. Now, I have a question for you. I want to put you on. I definitely want to get you in on this. Of
Okay.
course, is beating Penn State not winning a big game?
If you're Purdue, yes.
No, no, no.
If you're Ohio State, no.
Okay. So when Georgia beats, let's I think Georgia plays Missouri this year. When Georgia plays Missouri and they win that game, is that a big win? If they go against a top 10 team, a top 12 team, and they win that game,
It is a nice win, but it's not a big win.
why isn't it a big win? What constitutes a big win?
Well, it depends on the program you're at. So if you're Ohio State, if you're Georgia, if you're Alabama, beating a Missouri, beating a Kentucky, beating a Penn State, that next tier down team, it's a fine win. It's a good win. But if that's what we're hanging our hat on is the biggest win,
I didn't say it. Wait. I didn't say the biggest win.
I know. I'm just saying. If like, would you say that Missouri that was Georgia's biggest win of the season last year?
No, that's well. I don't think they did play a shot. I'm not saying it's your biggest win. I'm saying what constitutes a big win. And I think in any conference, in any no, in any conference, if you have a win against a team that's top 3 in your conference, that's a big win. I think if let's say this year it goes Alabama, Georgia, and Missouri. That's how it finishes out. I think beating Missouri is a big win because how I would see it is if we were to lose to Penn State last year, let's say, because remember I think Penn State I think Bryce, could you look this up for me real quick? I think Penn State was a top 10 team at the time when Ohio State played them.
Probably, but I don't think is Penn State though a top 10 team at the end of the season.
Yes, I think they were a top 10 team. I think people get these things misconstrued when they see other conferences, and because we watch our conference mostly, we would agree with that, right?
Yeah, but we also agree that the Big Ten outside the 3 isn't great.
But okay, but who are the 3? Us, you, and them. And we can't sit here and act like Penn State isn't a staple in the Big Ten. We can't sit here and act like Penn State hasn't been one of the better teams in the Big Ten for the last 10 years. We can't sit here and act like Penn State doesn't have top 3 talent in the Big Ten. We can't like that's and then on top of that, if we lost to them last year, you would have called that a big loss.
Yes, but that's because of the standard that Ohio State is at.
Does Penn State not have a standard?
It's not Ohio State standard.
I saw James Franklin and Penn State beat Urban Meyer. So when we talk about these things, we talk about what constitutes a big win. I think it's disingenuous to sit here and say that when right, like if you want to talk about the Bamas, the Wolverines, the like, and then the funny part about it is the funny part about it all, Bryce. No one thought we were going to beat Georgia. No one thought we had a chance in 2019 to beat LSU, even with Justin Fields in them. So
no chance.
No, that's your opinion. That's fine. It's not crazy. It's not crazy to say LSU was going to beat Ohio State. It's not crazy to say that.
No. That team was insane.
So I think about all of that. If you weren't expecting Ohio State if you weren't expecting Ryan Day to win those games, then
But that's the standard that you guys are at. If you don't win those
I agree
games,
with you.
it's a
I agree with you.
failure. If you
I
do win
agree
those
with you.
games, it's expected. So
No.
it's
Wait,
almost a lose-lose.
so if we were to, let's say we played a non-conference game against
Texas
Texas and we
or
beat them.
Oregon.
No. Well, Penn State is, well, let's just take 10 years. They've been exactly what Texas and Oregon have been, if not better.
That's a good
Mind you, in a tougher conference. Would you agree that for the last 10 years, the Big Ten was tougher than the Pac-12 and the Big 12?
so yeah, of course. So
So, so
Texas has been up until 2021, Texas and Michigan were very similar programs. High expectations, very little delivery. Couldn't win a big game. And it honestly took Texas till this year to actually
well,
make a
they actually
playoff.
beat the rival, but
How many times did they beat Oklahoma though?
they
Like
beat Oklahoma. They over the
they
last 10
won,
years, they've beaten Oklahoma more than that. They've beaten Oklahoma a few times,
yeah, a couple. Yeah,
and they blanked Oklahoma
yeah, that was this
two
last year.
years, 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, because Oklahoma had Dillon Gabriel this year. So what's the point? What are we getting at here?
Our lives are a collection of experiences, moments of happiness or times of great loss. First homes, new babies, property loss, even heartache. Knowing that your insurance provider is always close by offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
My thing is, I think
this is about Finebaum, which by the way, he said, I have no idea what Ryan Day is talking about. Okay, here's let's paint the full picture here. So Ryan Day, I've got the quote here. Big Ten Media Days. Obviously Day's record versus Michigan was brought up. For our guys who decided to come back, we had about 12 guys that made the decision to come back. That was one of the big reasons why they decided to come back. Day said. But what we have to do is build every day and grow every day and count on the work that we're doing on a daily basis. That's going to matter when we get to the end of the season. What we can't do is get too far ahead of ourselves and start to focus on too much on that and get distracted. That's the bottom line. But when you're come to Ohio State, you got to win that game. And then this is when Finebaum said, I had no idea what he's talking about. He's lost that game 3 years in a row, and he's talking about how his players motivated to come back and play. Well, I heard that 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and last year, and you stunk in 3 games. I mean, what are we talking about?
Pause. Stop.
Trigger.
Stop. Wait. Yeah, but hold on, but can we call the lie? Can we call the lies real quick? Can we call the lies?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, brother. This is your show too.
No. Ryan Day said nothing wrong in there. No, Bryce, come on. Let's be completely real here.
Mad at me?
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. When you read through that quote, what did he say that was pretty vanilla, as you always bring out, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And did he say anything there that was false?
Probably not.
No. But then, like, I mean, it's ESPN, so I'm not surprised. They just go on there and, you got to get ratings. So
we got to talk about the biggest story in college football, though, right? As you said last week.
Oh, by the way, did you read the comments? A lot of Michigan fans in there. Garrison's right.
No, those are your.
You think? Wait, accounts. Are you telling me as a Buckeye fan I have Wolverine minions?
No, you got burners.
I know the people that commented on there.
I know they're good fans. I don't want to disrespect them.
So I have a problem when you go and take what Ryan Day says, and then you go and just completely turn to something that it's not. That's my problem. Here's a lie. Here's the lie I was going to bring up. He said the guys that came back, that came and do what they wanted to do. In 2021, for what reason did Ryan Day have to say that? Paul Finebaum said the guys came back. They came back in 2021, 2022, and 2020. That's not why what are we talking about? Last year, these seniors are juniors. The year before that, they were sophomores. They had to come back, you idiot. So I just, it's weird to me that, and like I said, I think I personally believe Penn State's a big win. I think if you get a top, if there's three top, Penn State's been in the top 10 a lot over the last few years. I understand we give James Franklin a lot of flack. He is a top 15 to 20 coach in college football. I have 134 coaches.
Yeah, talk about hot seat. He's on one this year. They have to win this year.
No, I mean, win what? They have to win what?
You got to get to the playoff. Which did you see him? James Franklin on with Joel Klatt. He made the point that Penn State would have made the playoff 9 years of the last 10. I think that was the number, but it's basically saying he was on the doorstep every single season, almost, of making the playoff.
I believe it. All right, I believe if you are around the top 10 in college football during the last 10 years, that means you were a game, maybe two away from making the playoff. I do believe that.
Yeah, and you were in it if it was a 12-team playoff.
Yeah, I think Penn State would have made it 9 to 10 years, and then Ohio State would have made it every year. They're the Ohio State's the only program that would have made it every year. So
what are Day's biggest wins? Michigan 19.
Michigan 19.
Clemson 19.
I think real quick. I'm sorry, real quick. I think any year that Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan over the last 10 years, especially when they were good, beat each other, that was a big win. I detest saying that a top 3 team in your conference is not a big win. I think that's ridiculous to say. That'd be the equivalent of saying because Alabama finished first, Georgia finished second. I think who finished third last year? LSU? No, not LSU, Missouri. And that's not a big. Yeah, that's not a big win. Like what are we like? I don't understand that thought process.
If you beat the number 3 team in your conference, that is a big win. The problem is that schools like Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State, that is expected. It's a good win. Don't get me wrong. It's a good win. But it's not I don't know if that's the game you want to necessarily hang your cap on. I think the 2020 game against Clemson is probably the biggest win, right?
Do you count 2011 as a big win against Ohio State?
For us?
Yes.
Well, yeah, but that was because after 8 years of losses.
So you believe that a win against a 6-win Ohio State team with an interim coach and a lot of suspended players was a big win. If you are allowed to call that a big win, I will call beating a 10-win Penn State team a big win.
Okay, but Garrison, our programs are completely different spots at that point. You can't ignore that.
I gave you context.
You can't.
I'm not going to raise my voice today. I gave you context.
You're not giving context to the situation, the state that Ohio State is in. You guys stop. You guys didn't come off a 3-8 season. You guys didn't come off a 5-7 season. You didn't come off 8 years of losing to your rival straight. That's a big win in 2011.
Would you agree that every season is nuanced and every season is its own? Would you agree with that?
Sure, but when in rivalry games, context matters.
So you're all right. I want you to say this out loud to yourself. Beating a 10-win Penn State is not a big win. Say that out loud to yourself.
Yeah, if you're Ohio State,
good grief.
If you're holding yourself to that standard, I'm very surprised at how far you guys have fallen.
Okay,
because that's crazy. Garrison of 2018 would not be talking like this.
Okay, I'm not even gonna.
Garrison of 2019, Garrison of 2020, Garrison of 2015, he would not be talking like this.
No, I think you're missing what I'm saying. I expect Ohio State to win every game. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this. Bryce, that doesn't mean it's not a big win. You like how are you not processing this? Hold up. All right. Let's say if Georgia finishes first this year, Alabama finished second, and Ole Miss finishes third at 10-2. If Georgia beat a 10-2 Ole Miss, is that a big win?
So where's that game played? That's important. You had Penn State at home this year.
It's played at Georgia. It's played at Georgia, and you got top 10 Ole Miss coming to town. Is that not a big win? The team that finishes third in your conference.
It's Garrison. It's a good win. It's not a big win.
A simple yes or no.
Not for Georgia. Not for Georgia. And they'll tell you
that's
that.
crazy. That's
not
crazy
crazy.
to say. That is
now,
crazy to say.
If this
That
is Georgia with Mark Richt and it's not coming off of 2 national championships and a level of excellence that they're expecting, then yeah, it's a big win. But if you're Georgia, if you're Ohio State, how many games has Ryan Day lost? He's lost 8 games. 8. So it is expected that you win all those games. So if you're going to sit here and say that Penn State, beating Penn State at home or beating Penn State at noon, like you don't see Michigan fans bragging about Penn State this year. That game was at Happy Valley, sure, but that's at noon.
Oh, stop. I know that you're not telling the truth right now because I see it all the time on social media. And even when I talked to Lawson about it, and he has even said, I don't know why Michigan. He says, I don't know why us Michigan fans talk about that game so much. He has said that to me verbatim. Game? So I just want to get this out. Wait, the Penn State game last year. Even Lawson has said this. A lot of Michigan fans.
They talk about it because we ran the ball 32 times straight. That's why we talk about it. Not because we beat Penn State.
They say we were able to beat Penn State by doing that. They bloviate about it. But
that's awesome. But that has nothing to do with Penn State and being a 10-2 team.
To end this topic,
if you run the ball 32 times against a program like Penn State, that's awesome. Of course, we're going to talk about that. We're not talking about that like, we beat Penn State. That's a big win. Right. Our big wins are against you guys in the playoff. Those are big wins.
Okay, cool. So now to end this conversation, I just want to ask you this. Before 2021, did Ohio State have big games in the Big Ten?
What? Expand on that. Did they have big games in the Big Ten?
Because you just said, hold 1 second. You just told, when I said we expect to win every game, you went, meaning that you don't believe it's a big game. So for most of my life, I have expected Ohio State to beat y'all every time. I expect Ohio State to win every game. And if I don't know if you know this, but in the contracts at Ohio State for these coaches, it's in there for head coaches. You win every game and you beat the team up north. It's in there. So my question to you is, since Penn State as a top 3 team and a 10-win team is not a big win for Ohio State, before 2021, when you guys came into your own, did Ohio State have a big win in that conference for, let's say, 10 years?
Garrison, you tell me that. You're an Ohio State fan.
I know. Bryce, I have you. Everyone that's watching this, and you already know how I feel. You know my opinion. I'm asking you.
Well, you beat us, so I'd say that's a big game.
So beating you guys before 2021 was a big game.
Do you think so?
I'm asking you, Bryce, because you said a 10-win team that finishes 3rd in the conference is not a big win. That came out of your mouth. So I'm asking you, do you believe Ohio State had a big game or a big win in the conference before 2021?
I would say beating your rival.
No,
So that's a big win.
So you,
but what would you hang your hat on? Let's go through it. So 2015.
Wait. You
2015.
You think I believe beating a 7-win Michigan team is a big game?
Wow. So now you don't even think beating Michigan is a big win?
No. Wait. See, okay. Did I say
that's exactly what you just said.
No. For verbatim, I'm gonna say it to you.
That's exactly what you just said. Verbatim.
No, verbatim. I said this. Is beating a 7-win Michigan team a big win?
No, not if you're Ohio State. But it's a big one for the rivalry.
Stop. Okay,
for bragging rights. But if you want to say your head coach, who you want to argue is what, top 5, top 3 coach?
You're such a hypocrite for this.
If your biggest win is what, Clemson, Michigan in 2019, your first year, or Penn State, I think that's wildly disappointing. If that's your biggest win that you hang your hat on.
Okay. So
that's all I'm saying.
We already know the games against you guys, okay? We lost to Clemson in 2019.
Yep.
Came back, rectified that.
COVID year.
But then we lost what?
COVID year, but yeah. You won. It's a record. It's a win.
Won.
He's upset. He's upset.
The next year, I'm sorry, in that same year, we played Alabama.
Got
lost the game.
Donkey kicked.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help when your running back gets hurt in the first play and your quarterback comes with bruised ribs. But I mean, that was a great Alabama team. Like I'm not gonna
No, it was a good Alabama team.
I'm not gonna take anything away from that Alabama team. That was a great Alabama team. So then the next year, what that was
2021.
2021.
CJ Stroud. You lost to Oregon, lost to Michigan.
We didn't make the playoffs that year. We didn't make the playoffs that year. 2022, of course, is the Georgia game, which I think we were all amazed by and we did not expect. I wish we would have won the game. We should have. I mean,
that would have been a natty.
I mean, in hindsight, like I know a lot of Buckeye fans go, "Oh, that last second field goal." Newsflash: Georgia missed 2 field goals earlier in that game. Even if we made the field goal, we still lose the game. And then of course you go last year, you guys, as we already talked about. My problem is that when we talk about big games, if you are simply holding it to rivalry games and playoff games, I think that's a disingenuous conversation. I believe that if you were in the SEC, no, especially in the SEC and the Big Ten, which are the 2 biggest conferences, the 2 most powerful conferences, and the
2019 Garrison wouldn't be saying any of this. I'm just saying that out loud. I've known you're my bestest friends ever. You're my dear friend. We've been doing this dance for 2 decades now, almost 15 years. And it's interesting, and all that can change this season, my man. But
wait.
Boy, oh boy.
Is college football in 2024 the same in 2020 in 2019? Yes or no? A simple yes or no will suffice. Is it the same? A simple yes or no will suffice.
The mighty have fallen, friends. The mighty have fallen.
The mighty have fallen. I can't wait to donkey kick you guys in the mouth this year. I really can't.
As Paul Finebaum said, you guys said you'd do that in 2021.
Last year. Paul Finebaum needs to grow some hair follicles. We are going to give you guys hellfire and brimstone this year. I hope you know that.
Let's go.
Paul
Finebaum. Here's the thing with Paul is that I can't sit here and defend him. I'm gonna obviously laugh at you guys, of course. But
of course,
Paul, Michigan fans have had their battles with Paul, and I think it's really lazy for our fan bases to complain about national media because you always think, oh, the national media hates me, ESPN hates me.
That's you. Wait, everyone, I promise you, I will clip up an old episode of Bryce on this show saying that the national media hates us, ESPN hates us. But
I don't think I've said that. Find that clip. I said NCAA hates us.
I don't think I would
have said ESPN hates us because my point is that national media is going to talk about the top stories and then they're going to say things that you don't like, and then all of a sudden you're going to do. Everybody does. Every fan base does this.
Top story? And who's the top story?
When Michigan was getting in trouble, you mean? Talking about right now? Oh, no. It's not top story. It's just media days. There's nothing else to talk about right now. So you're going to talk about vanilla bread, saying silly things. But anyways, Paul's Paul. It's Paul's Paul, and I don't know. But I hope dude, remember you were talking about Notre Dame being a big win last year.
It's a big. It was.
Is that a big win?
What was the record at the end of the year?
How did Notre Dame, is it 8-4, 9-3? What did they finish with? Were they 10-win team?
I think they were a 9-win team. I think going into South Bend at night against a good team. I mean, it's not like they didn't,
10-3, finished 14.
Yeah, I'll count that. That's a big win to me. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I'm more nuanced in context than your average person.
Now they went 9-3 and they played I think it was Oregon State in the bowl game, so they got 10 wins that way.
All right, well, I'm over this. Let's get some fun stuff.
I want the best for you, my man, and you guys have fallen on hard times, and I'm here for you. You know that.
I can't wait till you guys fall back into football purgatory, and it's coming faster than you think.
I don't know. The natty that trophy's still pretty shiny.
So I'm sure it is. I mean, it's in a case. Why wouldn't it be?
Is this the hammer you guys are talking about? Is this what's coming down the pipe? The pike? Whatever the saying is?
No. But don't ring me into it. I have said on this show about what I feel about this, and I'm not as hammer on you guys as everyone else is. But let's talk about it.
Maybe not as hammer. No,
I'm not
you've been honest about that. All right.
I've been honest about that. Yeah.
So NCAA is expected to issue a NOA, notice of allegations, against Michigan. I think they said this week, right? I think it's supposed to be this week. I think it's very interesting timing with the documentary coming out. I think there was coincidence there. They're moving really fast on this.
I agree.
You do agree? Okay.
I
didn't expect us to agree on that.
Come on. Like the doc got announced, and then you come on.
And then you do this.
But then again, I did say earlier, like some way back months ago, I thought around this time of the year, that's when it would come out.
Did you? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Ballas, I think, I don't know if he broke the news, but I saw it through him, the Wolverine, on 3. And
I didn't like what you said to me about 11 Warriors.
Oh yeah, nasty work by 11 Warriors, basically taking his story that's gated and behind the
11
paywall.
Warriors, I'm proud of you for giving the people the news and not putting it behind a paywall like the Wolverine.
Yeah, I think
the news should be broadcasted to the people.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll let the insiders argue that one out, but basically, if I pull it up here, if I pull up 11 Warriors, because
you don't want to pay for that.
I don't. You know me. I don't pay for insider
Come
stuff.
On.
Michigan is expected to be hit with level 1 violations for off-campus in-person scouting operation led by former staffer, great legend Connor Stallions. 2 other former coaches are expected to be hit with level 2 violations for providing impermissible benefits to Michigan athletes. The source indicated that NCAA could seek to ban Michigan from the postseason for 1 or 2 years. Michigan is expected to fight back. It's unlikely the ban will go into effect this year, and Michigan's appeal is unlikely to be heard by the committee till 2025. And then the last line is national championship and wins from the last 2 seasons are not expected to be vacated. So I have thoughts, but you as the rival fan.
I've done a lot of talking. I want to hear you talk.
Okay. So first and foremost, obviously, I don't know what it really is fact and what's actually going to happen or not. The fact that the last 3 years apparently are not in jeopardy for whatever reason, if they ever would be or under attack or however you want to phrase that, is delightful. Mm-hmm. That's all that matters. Won the national championship. You said, I don't know, 5 years ago, recent history, my friend, you said Michigan would never win, and they did, and I'm satisfied. That? You did say that years ago. I remember it because I started to believe you in 18 and 19 after getting donkey kicked by you guys those last 2 years. I thought
100 points in 2 years,
and I don't think you guys got to 100 since then.
Well, you ran away in 2020. You hid behind a national crisis, a worldwide crisis. So
the last 3 years, though, I guess you had some. Oh wait, okay. So
most of your life has sucked. Mine has been great.
What do we talk about, Garrison? Recent history. You said that all the time.
I think
here we are.
20 years is not a long time.
No, 20 years, dude. That's a third. That's 2/3 of our life. Like that's
it ain't
20 years ago.
That's not that long to me.
The
world's been here for a long time.
So yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think it's interesting the timing. Oh, I had one other thing. I should have written this down, but yeah, I'm not worried, man. And you know why I'm not worried? Is because I think by the time the dust would settle,
Gerard Moore's gonna be fired. Oh, sorry.
NCAA won't be around to lay down the hammer.
Oh God. Okay.
Take that how you want. The NCAA is losing power every single day. By the time Michigan can fight this, you can do appeals. Again, we're legal idiots. We don't know what we're talking about, but I do know enough that like you can appeal things and just drag stuff out. And it's just time. It's just time. That's all it is. We're all fighting against time, my guy. Let's get philosophical here. And same thing. NCAA is fighting against time, and there ain't nothing they can do.
So what about the rifle team, the pistol team, the swim team, the basketball team, the softball team? The NCAA is going to go away forever.
Wait, what? Oh, I was like, what are you talking about?
Because listen,
An organizing body.
Because right now everybody, what you have here is Bryce.
Garrison, I've educated you on this so many times. The NCAA is going to be not involved in
Did
football.
you say educate me?
Yes. The NCAA and college football will become obsolete. That relationship will be gone. But yes, there will continue to be a governing body.
I agree with you to an extent, but not
Okay, well
overall.
then
No.
why are you getting sassy?
No, I said to an extent, which means they won't go away permanently, like you say. But forget all that. I want you
Here's
to.
an example. Here's an example, real quick.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
How many teams make the playoffs?
12.
You know who doesn't have any control over the playoff? The NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if that expands? What happens if a power grab happens in other areas of the game?
Pause. Stop. Pause.
No, think about that.
Pause.
No.
They said postseason. It's not for sure that you guys are going to the playoffs.
No, sure. You're right. You're absolutely right. But let's just say think about this reality is that the college football game has a national championship that has zero ties to the National Collegiate Athletic Association. That's crazy. Like every other sport has that little wood trophy that's like a little square thing. Football has no ties to that. So NCAA lost control over the ending of 12 teams. And when we get to the point where the big teams move away from the small teams and you got 40 teams and maybe 2-3 conferences.
Good point, Bryce. Good point.
That all of a sudden that 12 team influence goes to 30, goes to 40. I don't know how long this could happen in 2 years. This could happen in 20 years. I don't know. It's going to happen. Not. It's going to happen. And they're going to, I'm just. So
yes,
it's Michigan against the clock.
Okay.
If anything comes.
By the way, I think we should go another 10 minutes for this, but then what do you say? All right, devil's advocate then. Let's play the other side of it. NCAA doesn't go away like you say. And by the way, the coaches that have, I think they had 2 coaches that have level 2s, or is it level 1?
2 have level 2.
Okay. So what do you think about that? What do you think about the possibility of the ban? I mean, I think people forgot there are other things that are attached to this from months ago. You guys also might get scholarship reduction, things like that.
Yeah, you could get that. But that doesn't matter anymore because NIL. Scholarships don't matter.
But
so this example of that is
I vehemently disagree with you on that.
I don't
think NIL takes place. I don't think NIL is going to take place. Like, listen, NIL is important, but it ain't like y'all cashing out the dough anyways.
Yeah, but it's a matter of time. We already know that Michigan has changed their NIL game than what it was 2 years ago. It's already, let's say, improved. But here's that cornerback. He went from Colorado to Florida.
Yeah, but is it Mr. Sack approved? Is it your dad approved? Guy, the old guard. I don't think it is.
You know what the old guard wants? The old guard wants to win. So they'll do what it takes to win.
All right.
And we saw with that cornerback who went to Florida, McLean, what's his name? He's not even a scholarship athlete. And I know that guy's a basket kid, so he's having his own issues. Actually,
that's a whole different situation.
But the point is that he's not a scholarship athlete. So
it's a different situation, Bryce.
If you lose 5 scholarships, Garrison, then you can make up for that. I'm not saying Michigan.
I don't know why I have to tell you Michigan fan. I don't know why I have to tell you Michigan fans this. The exception is not the rule. That's everywhere. That's in every aspect of life.
Okay, but the exception over time can change the rule.
Did you just make that up? Did you just make that bull up?
The exception can lead to change in the rules. Boom. Write that down. Put that on your wall. Let's make some shirts. Go blue.
OH.